Hello class, it's Dr. Mike. Here's a quick summary for CHORD-Lab-2. So this is not until week 14 currently at the time of this recording for this course, but it's okay to go ahead and start it early if you like. So anyways, here's what the entails. We have a bunch of documents here, handouts, notifications, and we have some policies. So this lab is about incident response. A very important aspect is, of course, handling incidents, including things like data breaches. So there's some review stuff here. There's documents, the scenario, and impact. So you're basically going to do that. There's a scenario that happens for this XYZ college, which you are a team on. And we can see here the project scenario itself. You must follow the standards to monitor incoming and outgoing traffic, detect malicious activity, and so on. So the CISO received a potential data breach report from an external resource called the Research, Education, Networking, Information Sharing, and Analysis Center. That's a mouthful in it, so we'll call them this REN here. So REN has reported a data breach, and here's the information about the data breach itself, and then also some things here about a notification being sent from REN as a student reporting receiver erroneous charges on his college account. So what we have here document-wise. So of course, we have this document here. This is the overview of the actual CHORD-Lab itself. The first thing you want to do, of course, is just crack open a good old notepad or Word document as your team here, and start identifying all the facts of the case. And then meet with your team. And I know it says here you'll probably meet in a team of 2, but for the sake of our CHORD teams, you'll just meet as your normal CHORD team. So somewhere in one of these documents it talks about you being in a team of 2, but in the case it'll be your standard CHORD team as set out for your course here. So in any case, you're going to look over these documents. And first off, we have a memo, which you want to look at. There's dates on there, who and from. You also have, of course, we have a data breach policy. So this is the policy for XYZ College. Review it. It's pretty short. And basically, it's going to let you know you need to analyze the breach and determine the root cause. Pretty short policy. That's the way policies really look. They're not real big. Because what you have here is actually, probably the larger, is the actual notification procedure document. So this is going to follow something called SANS. There's a link to this up here. There is a SANS. Sorry, too many things here. The SANS, here we go, Incident Handler's Handbook. And that is right here. It's about 20 pages, and it goes into probably some of the best practices for handling data breach notifications and data breach investigations. And again, these are just best practices. These don't have to be used exactly word for each company, but it's a good place to start. And FYI, SANS.org is a great place to look for these type of documents if you find yourself maybe as a brand new InfoSec analyst and a security engineer, and you're tasked to create an incident response policy. And where do you start? Well, again, there's places to go for the best practices. SANS.org is definitely one of them. So use the link. You can see here there's some information you can review to see what the best practice would be. And of course, we actually have the policy itself here. So it has the actual process. Some of the roles you'll probably come across: identification, notification, quarantine, and of course some containment procedures, analysis, and so on. And the last thing you'll see is there's a Word document here, which is the incident response sort of document or policy document or questionnaire. So it has 2 parts. First off, there's 10 blank questions here. And the second part is, it's like a form you would fill out. So as your team, you can see here. So review the memo, review the project scenario, document critical facts, review all the pieces, the memo versus the policy, and so on. And then review the memo from the college, and open the questionnaire handout, and using the scenario, the memo, the policies, and even best practices externally here, I think you might find out SANS. Determine what's missing. So you come up with 8 to 10 questions, I believe, that help fill in the gaps for you to make a decision on how you will proceed with this just informed about data breach. So these could be simple questions like, how much data did Ren lose, or when did Ren know about it? So things like that. So again, it's going to be more of how do you handle instant response where you have been informed and don't have all the answers yet. And again, the thing is also document just the facts. So feel free as a team to go ahead and have some fun with this. You don't have to put everything in, cell numbers and department and office number. Make it up if you like. You can see there's important things in the form where you want to fill out. And of course, place for comments. And the law enforcement been notified. That's actually an important thing. So this is your deliverable for your team. This thing will be completed, and specifically really the questions you will ask to help complete this investigation form. And then will it actually kick off the further process? It's an important point too. After the facts are gathered, using the current data breach incident response policy, are we done? Were we notified and are we good? What's our next step? So prepared to discuss that. You can discuss that in the bottom of the form, especially if you're online, that's fine. You can go and add in the comments section, or even just below the bottom here, you can add your notes as a team. And that includes, and I don't know, it might not be documented here in the actual lab itself, also where you might need to see changes made. An important part of having incident response policies and forms in place is they're reviewed and they're also changed to meet changes for the company or corporation, or in our case, the college. And one example of that would be we moved to the cloud. That might change how you handle containment, for example. You might think there's to shut down a server if it's been breached, but if you shut down a server in the cloud, using that disk as ephemeral and that data is gone. Things like log files could be actually wiped out if you remove or delete a cloud instance. So that is critical forensics data when it comes to handling an incident response. So any thoughts, notes? As you can see here, that's the discussion part. If it's face-to-face, we'll probably discuss it in class. Also need for incident response procedure organizations and the assets. Again, and describe the steps of a good procedure, and then complete the form. So this is your deliverables, this form for the incident with your questions from your team. Again, and since this is a group project, you can either turn in your part to show your effort, or I would suggest as part of the team, somewhere here should be hopefully the team itself. At the bottom of the form, again, use this form, this Word doc, and put in the CHORD-Lab team and just put a note about what your part was. So this is your deliverable completed to be discussed, and also your thoughts. So hopefully this helps you get started with CHORD-Lab. Again, the second CHORD-Lab in the series here, which is actually CHORD-Lab number 2. And good luck. Thanks.